Damn it! Okay. Baby. Baby. Welcome. Well, you guys know where you at, and I don't think we're gonna get nothing done now. I got my assistant riled up. Okay, so no, we're not gonna get nothing done with that plan, not because of her, but because of her. Okay, no biting. I'm not biting you right now. Okay, she can't bite unless she asks for permission. So, and then we gotta we gotta approve it. Okay, why you switch over to that side? Yeah, she's doing a check down. Okay, it's a check down, and she wasn't getting no what she wanted on this side, so she's gonna switch over to the other side. Okay, hang on a second. We gotta I gotta adjust the light a little bit. Hang on. Okay, so welcome to. Oh hell, I don't know where the hell we're at. I know that my lapdog puppy is too big for a lapdog, and she's kind of sassy too. So I don't think she grew up in a black family. So we're working on we're getting that worked out. So we're in the ring today because we've been getting some stuff done. Well, I say we, but I'm just over here hiding out. Okay. Oh yeah, we know the tide wasn't gonna be on a long day because we got some people that ain't happy up in the house, and you know this happened before when I was working. Let me see for Judge Annie T. Christoph. So yeah, there was one of the cases that I was helping Tammy with, and then people from Tennessee where Judge Christoph is started calling me on the phone, trying to get me to do cases and do all this stuff. Okay, so I'm just, and and they presented. We'll get to you guys stuff, and if we don't, we'll finish it up tomorrow. So this is thank you guys for showing up. Okay, let's just go through before I get rolling and say hi to everybody. So, welcome Natalie and Eddie. And we started a long time ago. It started a long time ago when they started screwing us over. So, yeah. No, we ain't started yet. We starting now. Well, we started a little while ago. Okay, come on. She's like, oh hell no, y'all are not leaving me. Y'all are not leaving me out right now. I haven't got her to look in to see the camera up there yet, but when she sees herself in the camera up there, she's seen herself in the phone one time. We're making it Shoot, I'm like, okay, girlfriend, you look more happy than me when I'm watching. Yeah, okay. We're gonna let you get back now. There you go. Okay, so we're here to, well, y'all know what we're here to talk about tonight. And it's kind of nice because, we're private and I can say shit or ass or without my grandkids giving me a hard time. My granddaughter Jocelyn and I is, grandma guy, were you using the finger and you no, I was like saying there somebody was number one, or I was putting up. I told them when I'm looking in the camera, it's reversed. So if it looks like that, it looks like that. That's what I swear to God. Okay, so now you see why they're checking up on my ass, but that's all right because they're gonna have to get the hell in line. We started now, guys. When it said live, we live. Okay, so hang on one second. All right, y'all just work with me here. Y'all know I'm up to something. Yeah, we had to turn the AC on because, hey, I guess she's gonna be fine. I promised her a treat if she, if she like kept her mouth closed. if she, anyway, so she earned her treat. So she ran off too. Okay, so yeah, I had to turn the AC on, turn the fan on in here because it's about to get hot. Okay, so some people are feeling the heat in California, And I know that's not the subject of this, but it is. It is. Okay. And to heat that the feeling would be the heat from Dr. Honigman's her federal RICO case. She got filed in California. Now, I'm going to tell you from my experience, I think California is the worst place. Is the worst place for what? And they've gone so long. So many bar members run the stuff. Bar members run. There ain't no stinking lender. Okay, the servicer. Okay, if you talk to me about the servicer, then I'll know that you have a little bit. Okay, but you can just call them bar members. Okay, and that encompasses the whole group of them. And what they've done is set up this illegal process for your property, to steal your property at the gate. At the gate. At the gate. Okay, think of it this way. And this is what I tell them when they start getting up in my face. Okay, let me ask you something. If there were several people who own property, all of those people have to be present to sign the lien, right? Yes. Okay, so the fact that the alleged lender accepted your signature proves that you own that property already, and I smell stink. Oh, there's a bunch of words. I just let them finish. And I tell them, look, I'm not that smart. I played football. I boxed after that. And I ain't never had to count the lights. I don't know how many lights the hell is up there because I ain't never had to count them. Okay, but what I'll tell you is, so I have another question. So the second question is, if your deed was not registered in their office, would they be able to verify that there was a mortgage lien against your property? Oh, okay. So yeah, we talking about the gate right now, not the HOA stuff, not whatever. No, we're talking about happening at the gate. It don't matter if you have HOA, if the mortgage is paid off, if you didn't pay, if you didn't have a mortgage. If to have your deed in the office, then you wouldn't be here if the property taxes wasn't about to steal your property for you. Or wait, maybe the HOA decided they wanted to kick your ass. Okay. They already lined you up for it when they tricked you. And so the HOA, they are part of the bar members. Okay, you can put whatever name on them that you want. Until you figure out and you realize that it's all the same, then you're going to have holes in your punching program because you're going to believe stuff that's anything on a state level is total BS because they don't have enacting clauses, titles, or bodies. So anything that's on a state level is BS. We don't waste any time litigating shit on a state level. Not a freaking no. If you're already in it, you file the counterclaim. But before you file it, you add the state to it, the government to it. If you're in federal, don't get complicated on me because it don't have to be. It's only complicated because people in their head apply their limitations to their stuff. We don't have no limitations around here. That's the people's ring right there. We don't have no limitations. Okay, the only limitation is when you get your ass kicked, go sit the hell down and shut the hell up. Don't be trying to harass me or send me threatening text messages from a burn. Don't be doing none of that shit. Okay, because it ain't gonna help. Okay, because the RICO shit is filed right here, and this is why we started using the RICO in for the eviction process. When you come with their ass with the RICO shit, oh no, they ain't got hell no. It's a check down, then they start shipping that shit around or whatever. But when you do when you use it in the foreclosure eviction process, they can't do the check down. They already spent the money. They already cashed in your shit. They already put it in their damn bank account. And I don't have to say it. That's my opinion. You took it. It is private. So you do kiss my ass. Oh, I'm kind of liking this. But you know what? Here's the thing. The reason why we're here in the People's Ring right now, and I'm talking shit and acting stupid, is because I told their asses to come on to the stream. I sent their ass a link. They can come to the stream. They can actually, if they want it, I'll put their ass up here and let them be a guest or whatever. And I'll try my best to be respectful. Actually, I will. Because I get to talk when they all done with their way. But it don't look like there's anybody here except our people that came in the ring. Okay, so the significance of this is the key that stops the shit down there. Now, we're learning how to stop it before we have to get to filing a federal suit. But in California, it's real. You know, I even got to holler at their ass on the phone, and Dr. Honeyman, she got kicked out. She got kicked out of court. Well, most people get kicked out of court standing up for her rights, but she got kicked out of court sitting down for her rights in the rolling chair. That's what I call it. I don't call it the other name because that name is for people who are like handicapped or whatever. She's impaired. Yeah, she ain't handicapped. She's impaired. And I'll tell you why. Okay, so the reason she's still in her house is not because of this. Well, this is the end. Okay, wait. Okay, Coach, what are you talking about? Y'all keep up with me. Okay, sorry. Okay, so when she went and during COVID they jacked her $2,000 they added and she paid it. Okay, then she was in a real bad accident and there was some okay, and then so now they just want to like start harassing her. So she done her homework and she figured out if she had a tenant, then and so okay. What? I'm busy. So they wasn't able to throw her out when the sheriff showed up. And in between the sheriff leaving, she found us and I'm just knocking on wood because, people get in the program and there's like, oh, when is this? How's it going to happen? Our goal is to stop the court process. That's it. And I figured that out and I tell people and people, we don't stop it. What about that? I don't give a shit about that. Okay, so if you do it right, you should be able to get something. Oh, wait. The main thing that you should be getting if you're in a foreclosure situation or attacking your property, whatever, is your deed out of their office. Because without your deed in their office, in Lily's opinion, okay, I got to go and okay, I'm coming. I got to go and let her out. I'll be back in a minute. Come on. Let's go. She's telling me that she come on. She's go outside. I learned how to listen because it get ugly if you don't listen. Come on, please. Okay, she got laid off. So, okay, so before we even get started, I want to say hey to Lynette Woodard. She played basketball for KU a very long time ago when I was going to school here, and she holds the record for now. I know Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark's badass, especially for a skinny white girl. She's like totally badass. But for the people who know the real shit, okay, they changed the league somewhere along the way there, and they didn't include all of the points that Lynette Willard scored because the league switched over or something. And y'all can check it out because that's. But you know, it's funny because I saw her today in the gym. I was going to the gym and hey, big guy, what? Okay, so I saw when she played. I played football when she played basketball here, and I used to. I used to shoot around with her. I mean, she would be shooting around in the gym, in the basketball gym where we work, where our locker room was. And I used to show up early all the time. So I'd go in there and shoot around with her and like throw the ball around. And I didn't realize, of course, that then she was just like, I mean, she had to be about ready to be or whatever. But yeah, she played with on Globetrotters and everything. Anyway, so I want to say hey to her if she made it to the stream tonight. Welcome and she's like a real hero. Okay, so the way the program works, that federal filing is what you use to control everything. And then when you do the federal filing, you want to add a certified copy of the state docket sheet as an exhibit to your federal filing that you file in federal court. Okay, and then that outlines the due process violations and all of the BS that you put up with last week, last month, as opposed to trying to argue all that shit that happened 10 years ago, had to do with this, that, whatever. It's like a check down thing. You know, people get in the program and they want to answer to all of that shit and they want me to hear all the things that they think, none of that stuff is important. Okay, because if you go after them for why they're able to violate you, everybody's stuff's the same. Think about it. Everybody's stuff the same if you go after why they're able to violate you. Now, there are some classifications or whatever that would make something more important than other one. For instance, if it was criminal and you're looking at a whole bunch of years in federal prison for statutes and codes that aren't valid laws, even on the federal level, that's the same situation. Then or maybe you just stood up or sat down for your rights in court and got contempt of court and got So what would happen if Dr. Honigman decided she wasn't leaving court until they decided what the hell? Well, that's what happened to me. So I already know what happens when you do that. But you know what? Here I am. I ain't took no deal. I ain't kissed nobody's butt. And now we're teaching people how to do that. She got her federal RICO case filed and already sent Dr. Honigman. I already sent you the notice of preservation and the list pendants lien that you need to get filled out and go ahead and input. Well, so when the doctor got kicked out of court, they kicked her out of court. She told, okay, so and I have her recording on video. They told her this was a court of law or something like that, and she said, "No, it's not. This is circus court." It was a circus court, like two or three times. Okay, how do I know what I'm talking about? I got credentials. All right, those are my credentials right there. Yeah, when you lock my ass up, put me through the federal system. So the stuff on the foreclosure stuff I learned, but stuff on kicking the federal court's ass. Oh, that's personal. Oh wait, we dragged the ass right into federal court because the whole state court process is total bullshit. It's total bullshit. The law says they're supposed to deliver your deed to your house, but that's not what they do. They do what they call their constructive delivery, and they register your deed in there. Now, the last person, or maybe person back or whatever, that I work for doing a special project, I knew that she was going to ask me what a constructive delivery. I've mentioned that a whole bunch of times. I didn't know what the hell it was. But when I work with people, for smart people, and I like to surround myself with smart people, then I'm like, wait, they're going to ask me that shit. Okay, so constructive delivery means that anything that was important about that property before it was registered in their thing is deleted and forever forgotten and never spoken about. Oh, what are you talking about, Coach? I'm talking, excuse me. I'm talking about before your property got registered in their office, it was considered private property because it was owned privately by an owner that owned private property. Oh, we could do this. Okay, sorry. Okay, but the problem is that the Constitution says not once, but in two different places that your property is not to be taxed. Your private property is not to be taxed. So once they get your property registered, they reclassify for the sole purpose of taxation and Okay, so we kind of changed, how we do things based off of the real-time feedback from the people that are in the ring in this group that are in that. Okay, so I had one bird tell me, so wait a minute, the premium package has like 17 documents in it. Well, when we built the premium package, we built it to crush their ass and to have fun. And then we built it to have fun and crush their ass. So there's 4 reasons. I can syntax those around different ways, but then you again each with the front and the back, but then you got to be saying I'm a freak. Okay, so anyway, so I think that's you understand the point. Okay, but as we grow and learn, we don't have to use. Okay, so now that person asked me that was just not very long ago. And after using the RICO package and doing what we're doing with the RICO thing, so they asked me, what is all them other? I'm trying to keep it real. So my answer was, those other documents were to have fun with. Bam! Yeah, that's pretty much. Okay, so what are you talking about, Coach? Okay, so number one, stopping the court process. That's the goal. Not answering to their shit, not replying to that, stopping the process. Well, what happens then? What about my stuff? What about it? No. You don't understand. The biggest fear they worry about is other people learning that they can stop the court process too. Or having you drag the happy asses over in federal court with a federal RICO. Okay, so what's the big significance of the RICO? Well, when you get the RICO file and serve their asses, well, before I served them, I would also file the notice of preservation. The notice of preservation document is what allows you to seize any property that they used for this. And the government taught us how to do this. We used the government's own RICO manual. They taught us how to do this. Okay, so when you seize their property, everything's got shut down. Dr. Honeyman said she told the judge, okay, most people say the legal team is going on. No, she told him she was going, and she is, because I ain't doing it. She's doing her own stuff. She just, I love it when you get the guidance at the beginning over here. And now we're back to the smart people. Or maybe you're not smart. Maybe you're just not willing to take the shit anymore. Or maybe if you're like me, because I already said I'm not smart, okay? I'm willing to do whatever hell it takes. I ain't trying to do that if I can figure out a way to smash their ass and not have, but so the game plan is to crush the state court process, and we do that several ways. The first document that you file in state court is a wrap. They can't respond to it because we use federal case law and federal acts, and they can't respond to federal case law and federal acts with statutes and codes. And a few of these assholes try to move to federal court, but that ain't happening. Well, none of the people are telling me that they did that. It's only been a couple. Because even if they move it, they still can't respond because they don't have a federal bar card. Not license. Y'all ask not whether it's going to say license. So if you're doing your own stuff and you're not even using my stuff, if you use it in this manner, they're not going to, when you communicate with the RICO stuff, okay, it's a notice of preservation. So what we're going to do for Dr. Honigman is we're going to put, she's going in for, and she may have changed this since they're still, it took them so long. To get her shit on the record. And I know they was on the phone calling, trying to figure out a way of how they're going to stop her. But it's a little hard when they start getting videos. Oh, y'all seen the videos she made? They're badass. Okay, so now she's in a position to put a lien on their shit. Just package it on the website. That's it, right? And it costs for $300. You get what you need to stop to sue them for the eviction process in state court in the counterclaim after you add their asses to it. And then if to act like in Henry's case, okay, Henry was the first one that actually put this together. Well, actually, I put it together for one young person before Henry, but Henry was the first person to get, yep. And, well, y'all seen his videos. And he's still in his house. As a matter of fact, we'll just do an update on Henry and his eviction process before we, so, see. Well, y'all know we blocked that he got a thing in the mailbox. We blocked that. Then last Friday was the deadline for the second sheriff who stuck the shit in his mailbox instead of giving it to him. And then they had a hearing. Well, they were going to have a hearing, and it was a Zoom. But see, the attorneys couldn't answer to nothing Henry filed. They can't respond to anything that has federal case law in it. Why y'all working so hard? Okay, so they couldn't respond. So what they did was, in response on the record or whatever, when you print out the receipt, they said they produced their proof of service, their affidavit of service, which don't mean shit because Henry's wife had passed away, and she was the one that I was working with. And then Henry had a stroke, and then he came back from his stroke to find this shit in his mailbox. So he was in a hospital, and they ain't served him anyway, but it don't matter. And I know I tell you guys sometimes, stop nitpicking and shit. Stop looking backwards, and let's move forward. I'm still trying to figure out a way to object to that. Because they can't respond to my shit. They shouldn't have had nothing down there. But We're helping Dr. Hogman, and we got some young people in Florida that we're helping in Sarasota. We got some other people that we have, and before I get started, y'all know I'm doing a bunch of other stuff, and it's interesting because the other stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna show y'all. We got this. Now I don't have it on the website yet. I didn't have permission to show the guy's name, so I made this one. Is going to be for yeah. So they're taking his property under condemnation. Okay, I'm working with these white people words. Okay. So anyway, well, basically what that is that's the legal process in court after they filed the eminent domain. Okay, but they didn't mention the eminent domain in the document in the paperwork that they served him. They tried to make it look like it was condemnation or whatever. I'm like, what the hell? I'm looking at Okay, so they're trying to take his property and say that it's been used. Eminent domain. They take property for it's being used for the public. Okay, but the people that are trying to that he was already leasing from that was screwing him over, and when he found out he changed the thing and they got mad or whatever. They got the federal government to tell them they're going to take a shit anyway through eminent domain and condemnation, and then I'm gonna stain all that. Oh wait, so in the Fifth Amendment allows the federal government to seize property, but there's some really strict regulations on it. You don't have to be okay. The fair compensation. Sorry, that's wrong. That's the one thing that's the sticky in the shit right there. So I just throw that on there. But you know what? The way these people are doing it, is totally illegal. Okay. These people are this private corporation that has nothing to do with the wire tower. They're investors that invest in property. They're trying to invest in this guy's. Okay. And so he was already selling them to have a tower or a cell tower or something. Okay. And then he found out they should have been paying way more. So when the contract expired, he had a new contract for him. And, obviously they said, well, stick it up or whatever. And so the people told him, you know what? I'm just going to get the federal government and we're just going to take it from you. And we're going to give you less than what we're already paying you. So the guy sold the property to an LLC. Oh, that was okay. So now they're mad, the federal government. So the federal government's come in and they're going to try and take his shit based off of a state statute, 40 USC 1314, 3114, 3114. That's what I'm going to go with. A statute. So the federal government is going to come in and use a state statute to take. Why don't the federal government use eminent domain? Well, because, come on now, because they're not going to offer them fair shit. They already screwed them over. They're lying to them about who's going to rent the property. It ain't for the public. Oh, there's a whole bunch of. So there's just going to be some more people blowing up my phone mad because they didn't make the right decision and somebody told them they're going to get their ass kicked. And so, no. But I'm going to put this on the website so people can see it that are facing this problem. Okay, because if they're using a state statute and they got the federal government, okay, and the federal government lists themselves as the injured party, total bullshit. Okay, so in the next thing, if we don't get through all of this, one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys was how to look these people's assets up on PeopleLooker. I use PeopleLooker.com. I think that's what it's called, PeopleLooker or People Finder. Sometimes I'm looking right at it. How to look their assets up and search through their names, like we did Judge Sharon Ransom Brooks, whose name, according to what we found, was actually Sarah Dillard. And what we found was there was, I believe, 8 or 9 different aliases for Judge Sharon Dillard in Los Angeles. Oh my God, y'all working me right now. In Los Angeles County, California, where and she is one of the main defendants on it. And she's a judge under alias name, according to what we found. If that's her and Dr. Honigman asked her for her address and her stuff, but she didn't want to give her address. And then there's another young person from California that knows, and her first name is Lisa, so I didn't know her last name, so I'm just gonna call her. Maybe it's Liz. Okay, so we'll just call her Susan. And she actually sent me the document that I showed in the video that shows that Judge Sharon Ransom doesn't have oath of office. She don't. Well, of course, if she's an alias judge and she's the one that was trying to throw Dr. Honigman out of her house. Well, she got some problems right now because we're putting a lien. The doc's going in for $500 million. She might have changed that, so we had to up the ante on that because the doctor's house wasn't worth 125. It probably wasn't worth that much because she ain't got no. Okay, let me stay focused. And so we're putting the lien on the county recorder's office and their assets because she's gonna have to get something closer to, and I'm already working on the foreclosure document that we're going to need to foreclose on their shit, because I'm already thinking they're going to drag their feet and they're going to, I already know how they roll. So as soon as their parties are served in this, well, we already have the preservation document. I already sent it to her to file, along with the temporary restraining order and the order to recuse the judge. Ask the one that's working for alias. Then she already have all those documents, because as a coach, I already know where we're headed. They're taking our ass whooping, and then they're gonna. And it's taking me a while to get the doctor to really actually understand that you got to get your head out of their shit, and you got to do this other stuff over here. You got to take out. I'm from the hood. I'm from the hood. You got to take out the freaking money, whoever's paying. You got to take out whoever's getting paid. I'm talking corporations now, if y'all can't keep up with me. Okay, and then you got to take out the punk. The punk is the one that set the shit up, and that'd be the attorney, the servicer, the lender, the mortgage. People tell me all this shit there. They're done. And anybody that wonders if our strategy works, just go back and punch in divorce stuff. Start out with divorce case dismissed. Bam! My foster kid went through some bullshit, and I got to do whatever I wanted to these people for 8.5 months. And then we used that to build up how we control the state court process. But now with the RICO, we just stopping that shit. And then I filed in federal court. And when I did that, and I added the attorney's spouse and their property as damages to the shit. So we had to serve him and we add to. I wasn't even playing because I was getting tired of messing with these people doing stupid shit. So I added the state bar association too. So now nobody can represent them from the bar. Okay, so already they can't represent themselves. This happens when you add their ass to their own shit. They can't represent each other. Okay, they can't litigate a case they're a party to. Just that one thing of adding them to their own shit crushes their ass. Stopping the state court process, stopping the federal court. Federal court statutes and codes are the same. They're shit. Don't have enacting clauses, titles, or bodies. They do not. They don't. Check that shit. And Title 18, that's where the drug laws, that shit wasn't ratified. Title 18 was not ratified. And I actually have the document that shows that. And people try to give me shit. Show me that, I had to show your ass shit. Go check and see if it has an enacting clause or title or body. If it don't, then it wasn't ratified, and I had to show you shit. So there you go. I get a little worked up sometimes. Okay. So we're getting close. The eviction process. It's not an eviction process. It's a foreclosure process. The HOA process. It's not an HOA process. It's not connected to any of the stuff, the roof, the house, the land, the tornado, the hurricane, the fire, and it's not connected. The foreclosure process, their process is set up to cost you money. And when you run out of money, you can't pay the shit that they're screwing you over for. So, all of the stuff over here they're suing you for, and the judgment they're suing you for, all this stuff. Most of this shit they should be paying for, should have been paid for, should have been done. But they're corporate attorneys, they're corporate attorneys, and they're corporate attorneys, and they're corporate attorneys, and they're corporate attorneys, and they're corporate attorneys. Oh, wait, you got an attorney. He's a corporate attorney. He just ain't smart enough to work with the big dogs yet. So we'll call him a puppy attorney working over here. I mean, you see what I'm saying. Okay, they're all the same people. The same people do the foreclosures in the same areas. The same attorneys and shit do the same shit. And attorneys are part of a gang, and I haven't figured out how the check down is, but I know that young attorneys can't kick anybody's ass in court that's old. And you have to like kiss their ass and do what the hell they tell you or whatever. So and that's why attorneys don't help you. They're not going to help you because these attorneys, they're helping their friends down the street do the same shit. So stopping the eviction process used to be that we would. Okay, so number one, filing shit in municipal court or justice court or whatever, those courts get their jurisdiction from the city ordinance. It's a waste of your time. I mean, you can't file that and, wait, we don't litigate nothing on a state level. I already said that, so you should already know. Okay, you throw your shit in there just to screw with them. Okay, and the way we used to do it was then we moved over to federal court, and then we filed a real lawsuit. Well, actually, I should remove the case over there, and only a couple of people have done that, but you have to be like an asshole, okay? For lack of her. But that wasn't working for everybody because some people are too nice. Okay, so now we don't do that no more. We figured out they're on the phone calling each other, kissing each other's ass. So now we just stop the state court process, and we do it by using federal case law and federal acts. The federal acts bring criminal liability to the table for these fools, and most people don't even realize that because they don't know whatever. Okay, so what we're changing to now is protecting your property and those are, the affordable legal documents that we have to make your property toxic, to cloud the title and these kind of things, to make it less appealing to thieves. Now, these documents are, I lowered the price of all my stuff, so I started making some things that have power that cost less, so I could get people to start buying some shit, so I could keep to keep my sign up over there. Okay, but I advise everybody, if you own property, to use these, to invest in these documents, because when you use these to cloud your title, okay, it moves you up to the number one lien owner. And the documents that I'm talking about would be the notice of less pendants. Well, actually, the notice of fraudulent conveyance is the first one that you place in the public record, and then the notice of less pendants. Do not try to place them at the same time unless you're freaked out and you're worried that you're going to get kicked off like in the morning or something. Because if you take them both down at the same time, they figure out what you're doing. They're going to have enough trouble swallowing the notice of conveyance. The notice of conveyance means that you're putting them on notice that they're trying to steal your property with just a shuffle of paperwork, which is exactly what they're doing. And then the notice of less pendants puts a lien on your own property for the problem in the notice of conveyance. And we figured out that you can do these as notices. You just place them in the public record. Okay, but if your ass is already in the fire, about to get pushed off the edge of the table, off the edge of the cliff, because the table wouldn't be that bad, but the cliff would be worse. Getting pushed off the edge of anything would probably be bad, so we'll just go with the table. What the hell? Then we're going to suggest that you invest in the judicial notice of less pendants, or the judicial notice of, or if you invested in the other package and the other two already, just take out notice and put or add judicial to it and make it a judicial notice. Change the styling on the top to make it the heading, the court, and all like you're gonna file it in your case, and then file it in your case. So you're filing a judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance in the case, instead of way the hell across town, the other building over there, while they take your shit over here. You see what I'm saying? This is what I ran there, Henry. He's running around all day trying to get all the stuff because he wasn't like tech savvy. And I got to thinking, we need to put that shit over here. So all y'all, that'd be the first thing I'd be doing if they had a case against my ass and I didn't already have or even if I already had the counterclaim stuck up their ass or whatever, because this moves you up as number one lien holder. It moves you up past all of them. As someone telling me, well, can I stop the property tax or whatever you do? You ain't got to stop shit. Okay? That's not. We punch the ass in the face until they go sit the fuck down. So that's, I don't know. That's if they don't want to go sit down, we'll keep punching them. And I have people tell me, oh, I know, but you don't do this, I don't do it. No. I teach people how to stop the court process. And like I had a doctor. Okay. So if someone already had a less pendants filed in the case, well, absolutely. But okay, the first thing you want to file is the notice of fraudulent conveyance. Okay, because so the less pendants is just a lien that you're putting on the property. It doesn't really say why. I mean, you can say in it why, but the fraudulent conveyance is jamming there. At some point down the road, I got people calling me from California, so we're just going to have to. They're gonna have to call me back later because I'm a little busy. Okay, so the less pendants is putting a lien on the property. The notice of fraudulent conveyance is putting a lien on is putting a lien on the property to let them know that. Okay, let's back that up. The notice of fraudulent conveyance is letting them know that you're claiming they're trying to steal your property with the shuffle of paperwork and magic on move the things around bullshit. So that's why you're putting a lien on it. Okay, now, in order for anybody to beat that in my head, they're gonna have to they can't. They can't until you get done kicking the alleged lender's ass and making them prove that what you're saying is bullshit. And so, in my head, moves you up to number one lien holder. There ain't no way that if I got fraudulent conveyance and less pendants filed against the property, there ain't nobody jumping that unless they come with the same shit. Okay, so I didn't know how that would work, but if yours was first, then we got to handle yours first, and you can use my bag. Just remember that the thing comes off if you don't pull it out the right way, so it makes it look like you're not a real. Do you know who I am? I got 2 batches. Okay, sorry. So look at it this way, and this is the way I like to do it, because I'm not that smart. I'm going to roll without limitations and do whatever the hell I think I need to do. If I already had some stuff over there and they was ignoring it and doing all this shit, then I wouldn't even connect none of that to what I'm doing over here, because this program over here is already set up to kick these people's ass. We got Henry still in his house. This is, I don't know, I mean, this is another 7 days, I think, or 8 days past the second sheriff. Thank you very much. Nikki is in New York, and she went Thursday before last. I don't know any more days. I'm not gonna have. And she's they adjourned her, but the attorney didn't show up. They didn't show up. I'm like, adjourn? Nikki, you need to go ahead and jam their ass up before you know it's a default, and pull their pull the docket sheet and see, because they might have did the same thing that the people in Henry's case did. They couldn't respond, so they just filed their thing to show that they're proof of service. Well, wait a minute, we filed a counterclaim, a temporary restraining order, a whole bunch of shit. And that's no. Well, number one, anytime they refuse to do what should be done, then if they're following the local rules, then those rules aren't rules that we have to follow. So, and yeah, they gave Dr. Heinekman a hard time, a real hard time. They didn't want it. She wasn't even trying to file that. Well, actually, she was filing the RICO shit, so it was worse than this for them. They made her to go to like these other. This is before they kicked her out. Okay, when they kicked her out of court, I think it was the hearing. I was so proud of her. Okay, so she they made her leave to go to another room and talk to somebody else, and they were going to make her talk to the ADA people, and then they went to another room, they went somewhere else, and then she's like, they're trying to run me out of time. We're talking, what do you mean run you out of time? It's almost closing time. So they're sitting on the merry-go-round and run around and shit just to run her out of time. But here's the thing. If you go down there and you give them your shit, you give them what you get from around her, they're going to have a problem with it. If you try to do them both at the same time, then that's just silly to me, because you don't have to have that big a problem. Once you get the first one filed, they're screwed and they can't do shit. And then it's they're going to kiss your ass and do whatever you need to have done from that point on. Ask the 3 people that's still in the house. Now, when you go back with some more shit, they're going to try to give you some shit, but at the end of the day, they're still in the house. So I've even gone as far as, okay, so I've had some stuff in the Rico when I first started the Rico in Sedona, Arizona, and I went with my friend, and she was just nice. She's like a nice girl. I was like standing behind her. They're trying the hotel corporation trying to take her property. So she now standing behind her. They gave her a hard time. I'm like, wait a minute. You're telling her she can't file a supplemental pleading? Oh, no, you have to turn it. It has to be an amendment or whatever. No. Right underneath that, no. She got loud. Okay. I'm a black man. I ain't finna get loud in these white people's place. Shit. I already know how that goes. So I took the pen, and she told me to scratch out the supplemental pleading and write amended complaint. Okay, so I scratched it out. Then she told me to scratch out the judge's name over here, so I scratched out the judge's name. Now I had the judge's name in the whole document, which is ridiculous, but I said, is that it? She says, yep, that's it. And now the judge is going to make a ruling. Okay, that's great. And then I signed it, I dated it, and then I initialed it. And since it was for my friend Julie, I gave her the pen. And I said, and she was over there, now they're going to, when I looked down, she's like, oh, the light bulb went off in her head. She took that pen, smiling. She signed it and dated it, and I didn't say nothing. And I pushed it back under the thing to the lady, and the clerk supervisor. And I said, so we need to have a copy of that we've signed, dated, and initialed to verify that you guys are violating our due process. And when I get that, I'll be able to, you guys are clerks, so you have more authority than a notary. But I mean, you just watched us sign and date it and shit, so I don't have to have it notarized. But I can pay you the $5 if. Oh, they're really mad. I've even went as far as to handwrite the clerk's name in the freaking thing as a damn defendant. What the hell? They're making you follow administrative procedures and rules that they come up with out of their ass at each location that are not aligned with the Constitution. Total reason you're there. The foreclosure statute is bullshit. It's bullshit. It don't have an action clause or title or body. The HOA shit is bullshit because they didn't tell you that they're going to fuck you over as soon as they get a chance. They didn't tell you that they're going to fuck you over and not repair shit. When they didn't tell you they're going to fuck you over and sell the shit to whoever they want, they can come in later and do whatever the fuck they want and cause all these problems. They didn't tell you that they were going to rent these other people to run the place or whatever. Okay, so they didn't provide full disclosure, and we're going to put together an HOA package specifically for the HOA, and I have a person that's going to handle that. But you know what? The HOA is the easiest shit to get rid of. I'm going to tell you, it's the easiest shit to get rid of because all you do is you add their happy ass as the number one fucking defendant on your shit. Now, I don't really go numbers or whatever. They could be number 4. Okay, you add the HOA ass to it. I would claim the HOA is conspiring with their asses. The HOA, what's the HOA? It's a corporation. Who runs corporation? Attorneys. What's the title company? A corporation. Who runs corporation? Attorneys. Okay, what's the lender? The lender is a bank, is a corporation. The lender don't have shit to do with anything, but I'm just going here to make the point. Okay? The lender is a corporation run by attorneys. Everything is run by attorneys in the end, if they're incorporated. The only thing run by attorneys is this motherfucker right here. No, I'm sure there's other businesses like what we do here that's teaching people how. So I know. Now, people lose sight of the fact that Oh, coach, I gotta stop the sale. No. I mean, I guess you could roll like that. I got a badge too. The sale is not what you need to focus on. The foreclosure, the eviction is not what you need to focus on. What you need to focus on is stopping the foreclosure process, which encompasses all of that. Okay. I have a hard time when people don't. The foreclosure process, when did it start? When did the foreclosure process start? It started when you signed that shit at the gate. That's when it started. Now, if you're having trouble because you missed a payment and they're screwing you over, well, no. The problem started at the gate. If you're in the HOA and there's the shit, the problem started at the gate. The problem didn't start when they started harassing you for payments for this or that or problem. The problem started at the gate. And until people understand that and understand that here we stop the court process. We don't answer to their shit. We stop the court process, sue their happy asses in federal court. And when you get to federal court, after the people get served, I would demand the federal court judge, and I already have it on the shit, demand for settlement. Now, they have a problem with that. They're gonna make you put something for demand for a trial down underneath that or to the side or on the back or something. Because they have their forms that they use to try and make sure to have your happy ass limited so they can do the yeah, we ain't trying to get in the middle of that. And what we found out is that okay, the first time that I went, the first time I go to court, and they tell me that I can't file. Oh wait, I did that, and then I showed up the next day, and I added the clerk's ass, the clerk supervisor's ass, add all their asses to it in a supplemental pleading. Okay, but no, I didn't file it back in that court. Shit, them motherfuckers beat me in the face. Well, they took some punches back, but so I just went down to the main courthouse and filed it down there. Oh. And while I was filing it, I let them know the bullshit they was doing to me over there. And they didn't do that same bullshit. They just sent the shit. Well, actually, they sent it back over there. And then I went back and then over there, sent it over there. And he started sending it everywhere. So the number one thing that I think, and we got some more things on the list here, so I'm going to pull it back up. The dirty tricks that they use is they make you think that the eviction or the sale or whatever is the fucking end. They make you think that's the end of the process, so you run around all freaked out and whatever. Okay, that's by design, and it's not all of that until even after they kick your ass out with the fraudulent concealment, you can go back and go after their ass. So it ain't over until you give up and sit the hell down. Sorry, I'm trying not to get to. I'm just saying, dirty tricks. Offer your keys for cash. Send a bunch of people out to your house and try to look in your windows and shit. Okay, and the reason they do that, in my opinion. Okay, so when they register your property, it gets put in the Register of Deeds Association. Every state has a Register of Deeds Association or something similar to that. And that is where your deed is, in my opinion, that is where your deed is put before it's sent out on the internet to all of these sub corporations, realtors, all these other fucking people that get your shit and they show up at your house and start asking stupid shit. They automatically assume that you're toast and your ass needs to move out. Yeah, I even have a lawsuit for defamation for unlawful foreclosure for defamation, because when they said that your ass was in default before they got a judgment and the judge ruled and all that, they defamed you. And it's only $50. Okay, when you get a lawsuit for $50 for defamation. Okay, and when we get some wins like we got over here, it's going to go up to 65. Y'all know it ain't about the money, but my dog likes to eat, and sometimes she likes to eat like crab legs. Okay, she don't eat crab legs, but okay, I don't lie very well. So let's just let's just get back to okay. So dirty tricks. Valencia told me that she was in foreclosure court, and she's coach. She's a coach already. I already see that. They were stalling, doing all this. She kept objecting and whatever, and just giving them a hard time. Said she had to go to the bathroom really bad. But okay, when you're coaching, you're coaching. She's like, I know Daz had to go to the bathroom too. Okay, so she waited till they took a break. She rushed to the bathroom, and when she came back, they locked the damn doors. Okay, that's not. I hope she's not. I don't know anybody's name that's here, but okay, so they locked the doors on her and had the hearing anyway. Oh, I said that's why we don't screw around in state court. And it didn't help them because she was already getting her stuff filed in. Dirty tricks. Oh, they don't even. Oh, they put the stuff in your mailbox. Okay, wait a minute. They mail it to you sometime in 5 or 7 of your days already. Yeah, you go to court and they make you wait till last. They call a hearing and then they don't even hear. It's just ridiculous. Okay, so the way we do this, the way we do shit in the hood, all right. The first person you want to identify on your shit is the corporation that's paying, and then the corporation or the body of the corporation. That's accepting the payment to throw your ass under the bus, and then Now, one of the things that we learned with Henry in working to, and we also learned this with Dr. Honigman, was we figured out how to communicate directly with the sheriff's department, with the sheriff's eviction team. And in Henry's case, he was in Cook County, Illinois, if I remember correct. They actually have a link on their website. I had to click the eviction link and then hunt and click a couple more links, and then I found the actual link to the eviction team where you could actually, and it said cancel the eviction, so you could send them directly your documentation that you're going to file in court. I send the shit to them before it's even filed. I'll send the shit to them before it's even signed. I did that with Henry and a couple of other people in the special service that way. And then they email me back to let me know that they don't take the documents there and they don't do nothing or whatever. And I'm like, bullshit. Okay, y'all ass took the money. You calling me right now, telling me you didn't take it, and I know damn well that I wasn't the first person that your ass called. But I didn't have to tell them that. Because all I did was slow their ass down and to make them make that call. That's the first place. If I was like thinking they were coming anytime, I would be taking my shit there before I even got it filed in court if I thought that was faster than going over there to go back over there. Okay, because it don't matter. You sign that shit and it's a problem, especially if you get it filed. If you work in our program, we can help you if it's not, okay. Oh, we don't roll with limitations. We don't roll with limitations, and I have the hardest time with people, you know. And if I was had an HOA situation, I would go after them for the fraud from the signing of the because the HOA, all them attorneys, they're all the same damn people. They're all connected and do this shit as a goddamn RICO racket. I'm just freaking telling you. People don't see it, they don't know. I've been doing this a long time. And I already know how they roll. Okay. I've been around some real people, a whole bunch of people that's locked up because they were helping people, but a lot of those people were helping people get tap into the trust and do all that the financial stuff, and I don't do that. I like this little niche right here where we're at, and then like I got another letter the other day from well, I didn't really want to say what state from another state for claiming that they were mad because well they get mad and they get punched in the damn face and have to go sit the hell down. Mm. And then I have a letter that I send them out, whatever. So learn how to communicate directly with the sheriff department. I think is I mean I think that's like one of the most important things that we learned doing this because when you take that shit to the court, you know the clerk's already screwing you over, and we already learned that if you need to add somebody, the clerk would be a good person to add if you need to do a supplemental plea to change something. Because the clerk is the one. Oh, and the other thing now we learned, and this is one of the things that kept Dr. Honigman in the building when they were screwing with her. She's gone. I told her you need to have them bring the judicial clerk. There's a judicial clerk. They moved them over upstairs to do stuff for the judge. Judicial clerk's the one to be filing your shit so it gets done right. And when she said that was a problem. And then I was telling her too in her ear, and she was yelling and she wasn't having it. And then they took her to another room and another room. Okay, and I never really finished that. And so in the end, I told her, look, if you've been waiting there a reasonable time and you think they're done, just leave. I would just leave. Wait, if they came back and they said, Mr. Neighbors, damn it. Sorry, I get that because they call me some names sometimes. I get if they came back to I ain't taking it back. Okay. I already know by the length of time and their body language and the way they're looking way the hell over there that they're gonna try to give me my shit back. Okay. They can't like if you take it back, then good. No, I wouldn't take it back. I tell them, look, I already gave y'all that shit. I'm on camera giving you that shit. Okay. My legal team already told me that y'all ass don't have any authority to make a legal determination on my pleading or anybody's pleading. So file that shit or go get the judge or I'll add both of y'all asses to the shit and I'll go file it across the street or in the next town. Okay? You ain't got to put up with that shit. Okay, so instead of mailing shit to the parties, I don't even do that anymore. Anytime someone hires me for custom work, I just blast email the shit to everybody. And when I say blast email, I email the shit to the court clerk, the judges, the federal judges in that area, the planning department, the risk department for the city attorney's office, the county. Uh-huh. I include all of them in the email because see, here's how it goes. When you jam the ass up for RICO, okay, anybody that's associated or included or connected is automatically if you are co-conspirator, and they don't have to know shit. And then you mentioned all that are aware are co-conspirators. Oh, there's gonna be somebody in there. There's gonna be somebody in that email that ain't gonna want to be doing this. Now, this ain't the way the real thing looks. I printed this off of a picture thing that Dr. Honigman sent me. till that, and that's why I was kind of we've been working real hard to make sure that these people, if we can learn how to stop the eviction process on the state level, then that's great. And we got one, and then I'm saying that, Nikki, because they're adjourning. No, so I'm gonna go with two. These people in California ain't got no sense. I think that's like the worst. But you know what? We ain't got no sense over either, because we ain't rolling with limitations. So to get around mailing the documents to the parties and all that shit, because who got time for that if you're facing the eviction process? Are you kidding me right now? We just email that shit to them. Email to the attorneys, email to the judge. They can't say they didn't get it because the damn address is right there. And I ain't never had anybody, contest that. That just saves a whole lot of running around and bullshit that you gotta jump through. And then other hacks to terminate the court players. Okay, so we got demand to strike. When you get to federal court, we demand the federal court order their asses to the settlement table, because they couldn't respond to nothing that you filed in the state court level. They couldn't. They couldn't respond to shit that you filed. They still can't respond even in federal court unless they're going to go hire a federal attorney. And even a federal attorney ain't touching that shit, because most of the shit they stick in the statutes and codes, and they don't have valid loss or whatever. No. So the judge is going to be telling them, get that shit out of here. And like in Dr. Honigman's case, when the judge and the attorney were arguing in the court about who it was that made the decision on whether or not the tenant was a tenant or not a tenant, or a tenant. That's used to be a tenant. She was pretty grumpy about it. I'm like, dude, that's good. Because neither one of them are wanting to take the responsibility for the ass kicking that they're getting. Because somebody's going to have to pay for that shit if they don't get your property in their coffer. And they ain't getting it. I told you that. They ain't getting it. If you do what I said, they're not going to get it. Now, a lot of people have trouble doing what I said because they don't understand everything. And there's no way that I could, like, one, that I have time to tell you everything, number one. And two, because I don't know everything. They might try something different, and then I'm having to go back in my head and figure out, okay, wait, I remember this. Bam. And we punch their ass back. Some of this shit I don't even know what we're going to be doing, because it's their fraud that we're jamming. We got people winning. We got people still in their house. My review video playlist is pretty badass, and the reviews on it are heartfelt. And I have 5 or 6 people that invested in the RICO package that I expected 2 video reviews from, and that's why I haven't opened up that study group page and stuff, because I'm not opening it up until I get my reviews. I sold that package to you guys for dirt cheap. To get the reviews, I wanted to review when you read the document, how you felt about the power, and how they responded when you went down there to file it. So far, Regina and I had one other person. Oh my God, Regina. And then I had one other person that sent it. I got 2. Okay. And so that's that. So we're stopping the foreclosure eviction process by jamming their ass up with the RICO lawsuit. You file a counterclaim first, add the parties to it. If you're in state court, say if you're in municipal court, then you file you put it in that court, but just for the fun of it. Okay. If you're worried about getting kicked off and you're into the end and you need to then some people have went ahead and spent $195 and filed it in state court against the other state court. Okay, because they're all state courts. And tell me it's bullshit. And then use that, the docket sheet from both of those courts for your federal filing if they don't back off your ass and straighten the hell out. Now, I have people telling me, coach, when I tell the federal judge to order them to the settlement table, the judge is just gonna laugh at me or whatever, and throw my shit out. Well, yeah, I already know. And I tell y'all ass in the fucking video, if y'all watch the video, the judge's gonna throw his shit out. Why do I charge, right? Because I got two badges and I got a hat somewhere, and I got a tie. So, okay. All right. So I can tell you right now, and this should be one of the most important things that you take away from this workshop. Okay. Maybe the whole thing ain't been about the eviction process. Maybe, oh, wait. Maybe the most important shit is why they're able to do the eviction process. Okay. If you attack why they're able to do the eviction process, oh, then you're in why they're able to do what they did, then everybody's shit is the same. Because you're violating your due process, you're dragging your ass into everybody's shit is the same. Well, with the addition of the division of criminal versus, and then there's criminal misdemeanor shit that they shouldn't be messing in, and then there's criminal a bunch of years shit. If you didn't hurt anybody or damage property, they shouldn't be messing. Okay, so stopping the court process. If I was going to hire somebody to work for me in my new law firm, there may be one. I ain't even shit you. First question that I'm going to ask them: how many different ways can you come up to stop the court process? Okay, that's what I didn't give a shit. You're a good litigator. You can argue shit. All that shit is paid for, and then once the arguing stops, then the buddy judge gets to screw you over. So, why the hell should I do that? How many different ways can you stop the court process? So that's my challenge to y'all ass right now. Okay, somebody list me, and I'm just talking a paragraph at a time. You know, you don't need to have this big old ass thing. I want to know who can come up with the most ways of stopping the court process from watching the shit or learning and whatever, or your own shit or whatever. Okay, whoever comes up with the most ways, or even if your ways aren't what I got on the table or know already, shit, I'll throw your ass in. We can have more than one winner, all right? Because I ain't got no limitations. And that's how I got to what we're doing now, is by real-time feedback. Okay, you guys. You guys heard all that. But that's where I'm at. When you get your head out of their conventional shit and you started, okay, so coach, if I stop the process, what about the eviction? What about the eviction? You just fucking stopped it. The foreclosure, what? No, you just stopped it. What about my property? Okay, I don't know about your property. What I know is the next step is to get your deed out of their office. Okay, they didn't want to ask me about your damn property. Okay, that's part of what we're doing here. Jamming their ass up to get your deed out of their office. It don't have shit to do with the HOA. It don't have shit to do with the HA, the OHA, the YH. Get your deed out of their fucking office. You do that, you don't have to. Okay, if I had the HOA jamming me up and owed all this shit, and I knew they were full of shit, and they concluded. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, with oh wait, how do I know that? I'm just telling you they did. Okay, because there ain't no damn lender. There ain't no lender. Okay, all of that shit is done by bar members in a program that they structured to steal our property, and they're stealing. People don't realize that when the state gets your shit registered, they take liens out against your property for loans from the federal government. And if y'all think I don't know what I'm talking about, you can look that shit up, because and you wonder why they're so adamant and don't want to give you your shit back. Stopping the for now. The way that you get this done, this is this is the shit right here. By getting your federal case files, the people served, and all that, and if you bring in the RICO, then that just gives you way more power. Because once you file that shit, then you can file your notice of preservation and seize all of their shit. Or most of the time in RICO, you're seizing all of the stuff that has to do with the reason why you're here, or the fraud that you're saying that you did. And so it's not going to be hard for me to connect that, because I'm not even worried about our office and shit anymore. We want to get control of those deeds. That'd be pretty badass. Huh. And get seize them, then foreclose on the recorder of deeds office and their assets, and have the sheriff kick their ass out. Oh, somebody asked me, why didn't you add the sheriff? We might need their ass to kick some people out of some other shit. Okay, I can add their ass if I want to, if we don't get it handled or whatever. But we ain't in a hurry. Oh. Now, we're going to talk about the different ways that we use to strengthen what we're doing already, or strengthen what you're already doing. Um, but I got to go check on my puppy. I'll be back. Okay, we're back, and that didn't go. It was really rainy outside, and the wind is blowing. And my poor puppy is don't like all that, so it took her. Hurry up! Ow. Okay, so let's get back to. Oh, I just saw. I just got a message from Dr. Corey, but I didn't see it in time. Yeah, I didn't see that in time, and then I got another message uh, from Lily's promoter, and she's checking us out. So thank you for hanging out with us, Miss Promoter. We're really excited about Lily taking over some stuff. Okay, so let's just get back to work here. Okay, so ways to strengthen what you already were doing. Number one, if you have to like change something because you have to, I didn't say made a mistake or screwed up. If you have to adjust something, okay, this is the biggest thing that people get hung up on, and they're so worried about it, it paralyzes them, and they don't get shit done. I'm so worried about making a mistake. Chunk that shit to the curb. Okay? Because here's the thing. Around here, you can do a supplemental pleading and change and do whatever you want. The only reason why you would have to feel like you're so worried about making a mistake that is going to paralyze you from uh, is because you're following their shit. And we don't do that around here. So I'm drinking pickle juice. I worked out today, and yeah, I need to make sure I don't get cramps. Because one of those fools might show up in the rain tonight, and I need to be ready. So I had to get me some pickle juice too. If you work out too much and you get dehydrated and you have cramps, pickle juice, pickle brine. I'm gonna call it that because you can get pickle juice off of Amazon, little packets of shit. That's ridiculous. But pickle brine, which is the real. And then you won't have to worry about that stuff. Okay, so enough about the personal stuff. Let's get back to the shit. Okay, so strengthening your own stuff. First of all, you got to understand that no matter what strength your shit is in state court is shit. Is total shit. State court stuff is shit. I don't give a shit about the Constitution, about none of that. Statutes and codes do not have the three elements that the Constitution mandates must be present. That's enacting clause, titles, and a body. Okay, I'm not that smart. Okay, so if the state is trying to take my shit, why would I want to sue them in the state? Why would I want to fight them in their own shit on their playground with their fake? Okay, so I'm just saying, I'm getting worked up. You know what I mean? Think about it. Why would you want to do that? What chance do you have? Oh, wait. Are you waiting for the judge to rule in your favor? No. No, what we do, we make them go sit their happy ass down. We beat them in the face until they go sit the hell down. That's the only way to do it is from where I'm sitting. Now we have added some things in the program now for the people that don't like doing all the punching and the beating, and they can do the kicking after their ass get So strengthening your own shit, adding a statement of constitutional emergency, adding the players to their own shit. That's the number one way, But look, on the state court level, you can't go in here and expect them to do anything. That's not the way we have this set up. Maybe in the beginning, but not now. No, we file federal case law and federal acts in the state court shit. All right, it's a wrap. The case is done. They can't do shit because they can't respond to. Okay, well, now we add their asses to their own shit. So in the fake ass municipal court, you just want to do that. Then if you got time and you're not worried about them moving on you, then you get the shit filed in federal court and have them people serve shit, file the RICO shit. So now you're suing them for illegal eviction process and not all of that other shit over there that requires. You see what I'm saying? Adding the players to their own shit, adding a statement of constitutional emergency, strengthens your shit. But you can strengthen your shit all you want in state court. We only do that to buy time to get your ass over there because we ain't arguing nothing in state. Why would you? Why would you want to argue a freaking thing in state court when you already know that the statutes and codes are non-valid laws? They make their own bullshit up. They're totally screwing you over totally. Why would you want to go argue anything in that shit? I don't understand the people that do that. I mean, even if I didn't know shit about what somebody else is saying and what they're saying makes sense, what the judge ain't gonna roof nothing and give you shit because that motherfucker got paid already. They got paid to throw your ass under the bus or send your ass to jail or both. But people have a hard time looking at it this way. They have a hard time dropping all of that other bullshit that they were doing. They have a hard time just dropping that. My son, all of my kids are badasses. Okay. My oldest son, he's in the military. He's a captain. He's been in there for a long time. He's telling me, Dad, when my people are having, I just ask him, how's that shit working for you? How is that working for you? It's not. If it was, we wouldn't be having a conversation. And sometimes the hardest thing that I have is trying to be patient with people who do the check down. Well, we do this. Well, the last time I did that, they threw me out. Well, they're this, well, that. Well, none of that well shit has a damn thing to do with the fuck right now. Unless you were doing what I'm telling you to do back then, and I'm pretty damn sure it wasn't, because that's not what people are saying that are doing the shit that we're doing right now. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? I don't even want to hear none of that shit no more. Let me know when you get the first fucking step done. Okay, when you get the first step done, let me know. And then we'll go, okay, because I guarantee you that you ain't gonna get treated the same way if you do the shit right, do it the way we're doing it now. And stopping the eviction process, stopping the state court. That's what I'm gonna say. Stopping the court process. I put the eviction shit on there so people will come and learn. Okay, it don't matter. You're stopping the court process. We was suing for the reason why now we're just stopping the court process. And when you get it stopped, you can demand they do whatever the hell you need to have done. And that's something that y'all asses should be getting in your head before you even start doing this shit, unless you want to do it a different way or do it with what you've learned in your life from the legal shit growing up, which is pretty much all bullshit. I'm just going to say most of what we learned and we were indoctrinated to believe was total bullshit. And it starts with people thinking they have rights. People get so angry that they threw your shit out and I have these rights. You didn't got to be an athlete for 100 years that you that you'd be good with the big old G's, but you don't have no damn rights. And I'm just going to tell your asses that shit right now. Your asses don't have no rights. You have the right to get a fucking card like this, is what you got the right to do. Yeah, the only rights that you have are the ones that you get when you're willing to stand the hell up or sit the hell down like Dr. Honeyman and demand that your rights be respected. End of the story. Oh, Coach, what if they're mad? I don't give a fuck if they're mad. If their ass ain't mad, you better go home and throw your shit out in the yard. I'm just saying. That's you know, I'm on a private thing. I ain't got to worry about that. If their ass ain't pissed the hell off, then your ass ain't doing shit. You ain't getting shit done. You ain't getting shit done. Okay, so what else Steph gonna do? We call them. In addition to blast emailing everybody your documents and all of your shit, you can make videos like Dr. Honeyman man, did. Make some video, email that talking shit, email it right out to them. Oh, to everybody. Now, Judge Sharon Ransom Brooks, they decided that they was going to have they blocked the doctor out of the portal so she couldn't see what was filed. So then they filed another writ to try and come again and take your property. And so, you know, I think she's probably having a little trouble right now because the doc got her RICO federal filing done, and she told them she was going to do it, and she told them she was going to put a lien on some shit, and so she's about to do that. And so I think when they made this and gave her a number and put that shit on the record, I think what usually, okay, I know what usually happens is they call that bitch on the phone. Okay, I'm just, you know, for y'all who work with me, y'all know how I talk anyway. So, and they call her ass on the phone, and they told her. Okay, but y'all understand, okay? Because when they did the second shit to the doc, then we sent some more stuff out, and I did another video, and so that video, I got on People Looker, and I found out all of her family, all of her, you know. So we had 7, 8 people from her family to email showing that she's dirty and that she's a judge with alias. Who the hell is going to be a judge with an alias name? I don't know. Maybe they all have alias names. I don't know. But we found this one, and how can you be a judge with an alias name? Okay, and then yeah, and so now our family members are probably calling her. Now, the interesting thing, Dr. Honeyman told me that in the hearing, the judge had made a comment that she was going to be going on vacation for a few weeks. I don't know what happens when you get the federal RICO filing against a state judge who's dirty and operating from an alias name like Judge Sharon Brooks slash Diller. I can't believe what her Diller something other. Oh. I'm thinking she might be trying to explain a few things today. To find out. Oh, wait. Okay. My pickle juice is making me smart. I'm thinking she might be. Okay, so if I was the government, and Judge Sharon Ransom Brooks had been working for me and my corporation, taking people's shit for a period of time, I would be a little concerned about. I mean, I'm just thinking if you lie on your name to be a judge, and then Lisa sent us a documentation showing that the judge didn't have oath of office or none of that shit she's supposed to have, does it mean that all of the rulings that she had in the past are all shit? And she screwed those people over? Well, she's not even a judge. She's an administrative officer. So yeah, she screwed those people over. That's where I'm that's where I'm going to take it. Ways to strengthen, add the clerk. Add the clerk to your shit, because the clerk is the one, or I would add the clerk, and then I would tell them when I get down there that I've added y'all asses, the administrative clerks. I'm gonna need a judicial clerk from upstairs to come down, and they brought one down for Dr. Hunt. They brought one down for, if I remember correctly, for Henry too. Judicial clerk. Oh no, I don't need you people. I need to talk to the judicial clerk to file my stuff, because my legal team already told me what kind of bullshit y'all gonna be trying to pull over here. So I want to make sure that I got the head motherfuckers lined up so that we can get the shit done. Now, if you've been out of your house already, now we had the mandamus package, and it was pretty pricey. Okay, but in helping some of these people try to figure out how to crush this shit on the state level, we've come up with the RICO eviction package, because when you come in RICO, they want to play hot potato and throw that shit around. Nobody wants to take responsibility for it. Yeah, so that's probably what we need, because like I said, we're not trying to get them to rule and give us shit. We want to punch their ass in the face, force them to visualize their shared liability in the RICO shit, remind their asses that they're co-conspirators to RICO. You don't have to know shit. All you got to do is be involved in the stuff and be linked to the money and the money and the wire fraud and all the stuff that they do to get all this shit lined up to steal your stuff is all that. Okay, so if you are evicted or get evicted, one of the first things that I suggest is to cloud the title, so the new people can't just jump in there and run down the street with your shit. Cloud the title. Put that notice of fraudulent conveyance in the public record next to the deed or wherever the hell they keep the shit. People get stuck on the check down on the names, the names of the different courts and all that shit. They make that shit confusing for a freaking reason. Come on, people. So you want to go in and you want to cloud the title, slow the ass down. And in the RICO package, you have the counterclaim lawsuit to file against the state for RICO and illegal eviction process. And then that same lawsuit is prepared for you. Well, it's ready for you to finish personalizing and file in federal court. And the federal court filing is what you use to take charge. You use the state court docket sheet as your evidence to prove that they violated your due process. We don't spend a lot of time arguing the what they did, because that's bullshit in their shit. It ain't gonna help you. The what they did. What they did was jamming your ass up to run you out of money so they can foreclose. Okay? People say, oh, coach, you're not in foreclosure yet. You're gonna be, goddammit. You're gonna fucking be in foreclosure. Okay, so do you want to wait till you're in foreclosure? Do you want to wait till you're in the eviction process? Or you want to sue their ass for all that shit right now? Okay, when you do that, they're like, oh no, they like to sneak up on your ass with that shit and do that shit so you can run around like a crazy person or whatever. Oh, wait, you already got the RICO shit filed that you're jamming their ass up for the foreclosure. You're jamming their ass up for the eviction, but I'm not in eviction yet. Yeah, you are. You're in that shit right now because you don't understand what the fuck I'm trying to tell your asses. And that's where you're going to be if you don't do the shit right. You're in the shit right now. No, I have HOA. It don't matter. I'm doing a property tax. It don't matter. They're trying to steal your shit. And the best way I want to do it, I'm going to lay on the table everything they're going to do to me and sue their ass for it before they even fucking get around to it. Oh, but so many people have a hard time with that. Oh, no, but it's about, no, it's not. It's not about that. It's not about all the money, the HOA. It's not about none of that. It's about jamming their ass up at the gate for the reason why they're screwing you over. And then when you make them sit the fuck down, or after you get your deed, okay? Because getting your deed is the number one thing. Well, staying in your house is the number one thing, okay? But getting your deed is the number one thing. Staying in your house is the number one thing. But getting, okay. Oh, I sound like the AI motherfucker now, right? Okay. Well, you know, the number one, number two, number one, number whatever. Stand, you know, stand in your house. Oh, getting your deed out of their office. People don't even, you know, and the doc got their ass backed up against the wall real good right now. I don't see how. Okay, so there are a couple of things, though. One thing that I want to get on the table right now, because when you're in federal court, they have right here that they got her a master judge, and somebody I was looking him up, and somebody, oh, he's, you know, he's honest and he makes these, you know. No, we ain't having no master judge in our shit. It ain't happening. And you can go to the website, to the YouTube channel, and punch in master judge. You can see all the, you know. The master judge is a lesser judge. Okay, so the chief judge is a lesser judge too, because they're not judicial. Okay, but they're not lesser than the lesser judge, the magistrate judge. The magistrate judge is not even real. The magistrate judge is supposed to be taking out the damn trash. I'm just saying it. And I actually mentioned that in one of the videos. People will bring that. So I'm just throwing the magistrate judge, and no, we ain't having a magistrate judge. And here's why. They'll tell you, oh, we need the magistrate. The reason they have their magistrate judge is to protect the chief judge or the other judge that's lesser than a chief judge but higher than the magistrate judge. Okay, coach, you've been drinking too much pickle juice. Well, no, I can't. I only drink a cup. This is so nasty. Okay, so the magistrate judge, and you can look this shit up if you want to, okay? Because my ex-wife and I had a conversation about this one day when she was still on wife. And she's real smart with this legal shit, but she's on the state level. She's like, but you know, and I told her, the magistrate judge does not have jurisdiction, judicial authority to be involved in your case without the signed consent from all parties, because the magistrate judge is supposed to be taking out the damn trash. There you go. I said it. And she said, no, the magistrate judge, you know, whatever. You know, she's doing all this stuff. I'm like, okay. You know, I ain't arguing with my wife. I mean, I can know shit, whatever. And, you know. So I'm thinking, you know, I remember shit. I'm a freak. So I punched it in. Magistrate judge. Bam, there you go. The magistrate judge does not have judicial authority to be involved in your case without consent of all parties. 436, I think, is, see, I told you I'm a freak. It's the statute that they. And so I printed it off and I showed it to her and I just gave it to her. I said, oh, wow, you're right. And I said, could you say that about 20 more times? Okay, sorry. I did say. Okay, so back to the magistrate judge. If the magistrate judge makes a decision in the case, then we're doing a supplemental pleading and we're adding the magistrate judge right to the shit. And here's why. The magistrate judge is going to check down and throw your shit out, protecting the other judges. The people who agree to have the magistrate judge are doing so because they're in a hurry and they want, or whatever. I don't know why. What I do know is that the magistrate judge don't have to follow shit. I think I just rather have the clerk do it. Not a better shot. The magistrate judge is a piece of shit, and we ain't having it. So I'm going to file something to address that. And when you agree to a lesser judge, you're giving up your constitutional rights that you already gave up to get in. Okay. I'm getting worked up. I know y'all understand what I'm saying. The magistrate judge is a piece of shit. You can look that shit up and don't have any legal authority to be involved in anybody's case without the signed consent from all parties. And it says that shit and those words right in their shit. So we'll address that, but we ain't in a hurry to address it right now. We want to get the notice of the notice of preservation and the temporary restraining order and demand to recuse the state judge. We're demanding a federal judge recuse the state judge because them bitches over there acting stupid. So there you go. And I got a badge. It's broken, but I can flip it up. Flip it up that way. Okay, so the reentry game plan, if you get the $300 package, just be to stop their ass from moving forward by making your property tax toxic and then filing the lawsuit in state court or going straight over the federal court. You know, if I was already out of the property, then I wouldn't waste my time in state court. I would just file the federal lawsuit in federal court. And then Jim put together a temporary restraining order and order the federal court to make their ass stop the shit and injunction and all that stuff. So we have those documents included in the thing. Okay, so yeah, the clerks in California is like, in my opinion, California is the worst. And I have people arguing me on that. And I'm like, and people arguing me, like, I don't think y'all know what you're talking about. Okay, but you know, I'll throw right here on the table why I'm saying it. I think California is the worst because they're the only state that I'm aware of, okay, that pays. Well, when I read this, it was several years ago. They paid $81,000 a year for this department of people to go around and clean human shit out and piss off the sidewalk and other stuff too. There was other stuff, I'm sure. Off the sidewalk. Now, if somebody knows a state that's that bad too, y'all let me know. And then I'm gonna go on YouTube and look it up. But I've been on YouTube and looked up this shit. And it's just mind-blowing how many people in California are camping on the street and camping or whatever that's been kicked out of their house over some pilly ass shit. Statutes and codes that aren't valid laws. Oh, in California, they use non-judicial. So they kick you out of your house based off of a fucking clause in the deed of trust that you didn't even know about. And to have it set up that you're the one paying for the foreclosure and all the shit of getting kicked out of your own goddamn house. Look that shit up. You don't think I know what I'm talking about. So when they're screwing you over, you just have to make them pay. You know, that's all I can say. If someone's punching me in the face, I'm going to punch their ass back. Your clerk ain't got no reason to do that shit. Now, when you file the les pendants here, okay, so there's two things. Placing the les pendants in the public record next to the deed. I'm going to assume that's what you're talking about, Jeep. Yeah, because now we're talking about filing in court as a document, and they can't stop that. Okay, we just style the top of it like the court heading, the parties, and the case number, and all that shit. And then when you get to the title, it's judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance. A judicial notice is a document that you're filing in court to let the court be aware of administrative facts. It doesn't require the court to do, directly speaking. Directly speaking, it doesn't require the court to do anything. So the parties don't get a chance. Well, they'll try to answer anyway to our shit because it's so damaging to them getting. So the clerk, if I'm filing a judicial notice of less pendants, then the clerk, they have to, I don't know, they give you a hard time. I heard if you tried to place the less pendants on the public record over here, they'll try to tell you, well, you need to have a federal lawsuit. And in California, they'll send you to go talk to the judge, which is totally fucking ridiculous. Because the judge ain't got shit to do with what you put on the public record or what you file in a goddamn case. So we're learning how to do this shit different and turn this shit around. No, Eddie, the fraudulent conveyance, these are the documents that I made that were really inexpensive. I think one package was $99 at one point, and one package was like $125. The less pendants, I think, was $125, and I think the fraudulent conveyance. Now, the fraudulent conveyance, the notice of fraudulent conveyance, if I remember correct, also has the notice of less pendants in it that you would use together, but you don't want to place them on the public record or file them as judicial notice. Well, you can file them as judicial notices in your case at the same time. They can't do shit about that. But placing on the public record, if you bring them both at the same time, you're going to get more blowback than, unless you're worried about them like pushing you off the cliff in the morning or something, I wouldn't do them both. And we've had a couple of people that did them both, and it was they handled it, but most people don't have the skills to do that. And I'm just like, why would you have to? I like punching the ass slow anyway and making them sweat and suffer. So that's just the way I like to do it. So those documents are on the website. There's a fraudulent. Okay, so the difference between the two, I think that's something that we should talk about. Okay, so the less pendants package was designed to do the conventional less pendants. We'll just call it that, where you have to have a certified copy of a federal filing to put the lien on their stuff or the judge's house or something. And you can put the less pendant lien on your own stuff too. And well, I don't think you need a federal filing. I don't know about that. I know the less pendants is set up to put the lien on their shit over there with the federal filing. The notice of fraudulent conveyance and the notice of less pendants that's sold in other packets was structured to put the lien on your own property without having to have anything else. It's pretty badass. I did not know you could do that, but we figured it out. And so now you can go ahead and you can do that and put that shit against your property without having to have a $400 federal filing certified, because it's like $35 certified. So, and then if you don't take your own copy, then it's a bunch of pages, copies or whatever they charge you, nickel and dime you, whatever. So that's how that works. So they're on the website now. If you buy one package, then you don't need to buy the other, I don't think. Okay, so I think I have the notice of less pendants and the notice of fraudulent conveyance and the notice of less pendants both in the package, and then the judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance and judicial notice of less both in the other package. So if you bought one package, you don't need to buy the other package. Just take the word off and change it, and then take off. Like say if you had the judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance, then all you have to do is just take off the top off the parties and all that shit. Take that shit off and just put whatever the hell was on, like you're just sending in. Just turn to a regular notice and place it in public record. So you don't have to get the other one, but it's all set up to get to work the way. And I appreciate the investment to help offset these prices and shit. And yeah, Lily, the legal Lily, the new super dog. She's going to be heading up the ad campaigns along with the new promoter that is going to be working with Lily the super dog, helping us. Now, if we have something that we're affiliately selling, or that we're partnerly selling, or that we're intermittently selling with videos on a thing, and you guys invest in our stuff, it's going to help us get keep our prices or make our prices even lower. Okay, because JBL knocking at the door, we get some stuff figured out. We get Lily. The promoter is going to be marketing Lily, so we're going to be making she's going to be making some money over there, but she'll be paying us. That's the way we're going to have to set it up. Anyway, so all of the things that you guys invest in, I even have a donation link on the website at the top right hand corner. Anybody that makes a donation, it was much appreciated to help us keep the lights on and keep the ring open up and keep the opportunity for these assholes to come on down here. I invited them to bring their happy asses down here and explain to us why the hell they're doing this shit. I invited Sarah Ransom to come down here and explain to us why the hell she needs to have 9 fucking names. Yeah, and why the hell she's using an alias name as one of her 9. Sarah Dillard. That was the first name. That was the name that all of those 9 names took me to. And in the next workshop that I want to have, one of the things I want to show you guys is how to do that search on People Finder and do the check down and connect these names and connect emails and phone numbers. And you start doing a copy and paste it, and all of a sudden, there's a pattern. Look at all of these. And why do they have so many aliases? Why the hell do you need to be a judge with 9 different fucking names? I don't know. I emailed her and invited her to come and explain that to me, because I wanted to know. I knew Dr. Honigman wanted to know too, and so that Lisa, who is in. I didn't know what to tell you, Eddie. It's on there. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'm about to close this up and go get me something to eat, and then I need to check with my friend and see how things are going over there, and then have another friend. Oh, I'm really happy about this, because them people was on some total bullshit over there. And so now we got a case number to add some more shit. I'm gonna learn how to do a foreclosure situation so we can foreclose on the. And so I'm going to let me know. So if you foreclose on, if you seize their shit and you foreclose on them, and then I don't know how long and you seize their assets too, which would be all those deeds. Could you do whatever you want with them? Could you give them back to people? That's what I do, but it wouldn't be free. I would not give them back to y'all happy asses for free. So y'all gonna have to leave me a couple of review videos. 5 review videos to get your deed back. Okay, 3. Damn. Okay, 2.5. Lily's looking at me funny over there. When I raise my voice, she's looking at me funny. I'm like, dude, you're not chewing on. Okay, so we've been working with the chewing thing and stuff, and so my best friend let me know that if my dog chews on any women's shoes, then there's going to be a hit put out for my dog. So my best friend just let me know that, so I could be aware. And so I was just wondering if the hit was going to include me. I think so, but she didn't want to tell me or whatever. So uh so I'm working with Lily to let her know if I need her to chew on anybody's shoes. Right now it's a no. I think I'm about to get in trouble right now. I've been forewarned, and so I let her know too. So we got a place for women's shoes. If any women come to the ring here, we have a place for the shoes. So we don't, I didn't have to throw my dog to the wolves, under the bus or anything, because I know the hit shit sounds pretty serious. No, that's not actually what she said. She said the dog would die, and so I'm thinking I had to be dead first before they kill the dog. So sounds like a hit to me. I'm just saying. Does anybody have any more questions? And does everybody here have the package they need to to get this done? And YouTube doesn't support content private videos. Huh? It's not a private video. I was trying to share a link with you guys, but it wouldn't let me put it in there. Okay, this is gonna be easier if I just you guys that are at the stream tonight, send me an email, and I got a package I want to hook you guys up with. It's not letting me put it in the link. I think it might be my thing might be too long. It's telling me it doesn't support private video, so give me a break. It's not a private video. It's a link to. So you guys send me an email if you're here tonight. I'm going to hook you guys up with the $1,500 mortgage fraud package. Excuse me, we changed it. It's the foreclosure defense package because they didn't like the mortgage or the fraud. They don't like Rico either, but that's all right. I can leave those words off and we can still burn some ass with it. So you guys email me tomorrow, not next week or 5 days from now, because I ain't gonna remember none of that shit. I need to email me tonight or tomorrow. Actually, tonight for tomorrow, and then tomorrow when I get online, I'm gonna hook you guys up. But you need to tell me your name, your name here when you send me the email, so that because I got people that's smarter than me. Well, if the federal judge dismisses my, are you talking about the magistrate judge? Because we already went over that. Are you talking about the magistrate judge, Eddie? So we already went over that. Okay, but anytime a judge dismisses your shit, I have people telling me, "Oh, well, I'm going to do the demand for sanctions." I'm going, no, you have to address why the hell they're throwing your shit out. No, I didn't say state. No, no federal. So you're talking state judge? Oh, federal judge. And so my question was it a magistrate judge was my question. And it don't matter. So if the if the federal judge dismisses your stuff, the federal judge is not going to provide a finding of facts or excuse me, and a conclusions of law. They don't. They do not provide a finding of facts and a conclusions of law. That means they just do your shit out in an administrative hearing and you have no chance at an appeal. No chance at an appeal. In order for you to have a chance at an appeal, you have to have a finding of facts and the conclusions of law. If you don't have those things, then there's no chance of you having any kind of a fucking appeal. So that's just, oh, they'll tell you, yeah, yeah, and then they'll tell, oh, you need double space or triple space. Put the T's upside down on the side of the B, whatever, do all this shit. And then you're doing all that shit, jumping and kissing their ass, and then finally going to say, see you, and throw your ass out. So just to tell me what the federal judge dismissed your shit, you can't tell me why he dismissed it, then that's pretty much part of the problem. No offense, but try to dismiss my stuff because of this. Well, it doesn't matter. Y'all ass know that the federal judge ain't throwing my shit out because it's trash. Right? He just kicking y'all's ass because y'all don't know what the fuck is, whatever. So anytime a judge says anything, you should be objecting. And why are you objecting? Because the shit is in your paper. Fucking that easy. You're objecting because of the shit that's in your paper. But most people don't take time to understand it. Most people don't take time to Google the word statute. Most people don't take time to do the research. So they understand when they get there and judge says, in the hearing or whatever, we're throw your shit out, whatever. Why? Because you failed to state a claim. Was dismissed by the magistrate judge because you didn't serve the parties. Well, okay, so first off, if you didn't serve the parties, and I don't know if you did or not, but if you don't serve the parties, you're not, but that wouldn't matter to me because the magistrate judge made a decision in my shit. I would be suing the magistrate judge right now, and I would make sure I served his ass. Let me have a commercial break because I got a badge. Oh, the magistrate judge does not have legal authority to be involved in your case without the consent of all parties. So, but if you didn't serve the people, then there's no reason why the court was going to, because they haven't been fully. If you did serve them, then the magistrate judge is trying to help them, and that's what the magistrate judge does. Takes the heat for the other judge so that they can say, "Oh, well, you agreed to have the magistrate judge. We thought you agreed to have the lesser judge because you was in a hurry and you wanted to get this shit handled." And you knew that you weren't going to get any constitutional rights with the lesser judge or any other judge. Oh, sorry. I started talking too much right there. So, the manager doesn't have, and if the judge dismissed my stuff, then I would object to it and then repost the shit why. And then the judge has to make his or her, final offer after you object, and he's, and then, oh, wait, but he can't do that if you add the judge to the shit in supplemental pleading for trying to help his fellow bar members. That can be a little sticky situation. Okay, guys, I think we're looking good, and I hope you guys got some value out of out of this workshop, I would really appreciate a review video on the workshop. And in it, maybe you might mention what was most profound that you learned from tonight's 2 hours and 30 minutes of taking care of business. This is kind of cool too. This is kind of teaching people some shit, and it's going to be cool. Put this in the thing and chop it up, stick it back in. Well, okay, never mind. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. I'm getting hungry now, and my dog is probably hungry too. So I need to let her out again. She was too many bushes blowing around outside. So we got to go try that again. So thank you guys, and please send me email me the videos of the review videos so I can post them on our review video website. Okay, Tab. I'll wait till tomorrow because I'm going to be off duty when I get done here, and then I'm going to go talk to my friends and enjoy the rest of the evening. And I'm so happy that Dr. Honeyman is still in there. Read that shit and weep. So we got 3 people, and this ain't the first time we stopped the eviction process, but this is the first time that we're stopping it on the state court level in a reasonable amount of time and blocking the sheriffs from throwing some people's asses out in the fucking street. So yeah, that's pretty badass right there. I'm thinking it pretty badass, and then to have her impaired. She mentioned handicapped, and I ain't going with that because she's not gonna be in a wheelchair her whole life, and she's impaired. She ain't handicapped. I know they don't think she's handicapped right now after she was in the court sticking her finger up in the judge's face, telling the judge she's going, I'm putting a lien on your house. You need to give me your address. Give me your address. And judge said, no, this is a court of laws. And the daughter said, no, this is a circus court. This is a circus court. She said that twice. Oh, the nice white girl whipped out some fangs and some claws and shit, and she's still in her damn house too. So, way to go, Doc! You kicked ass. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of all you guys who have the courage to stand up and punch these people in the face. Bam! I gotta go snack on something because I'm getting hungry now. I hear my stomach making noise. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. I'll see you guys in the next workshop, in the next live stream, in the next video. Hell, I know. We're gonna have a live stream tomorrow too. What the hell? We're on a roll right now. Maybe one of those assholes will call me tonight and want to come to the stream and explain. I don't think so. But it could happen. I don't hold my breath, but I offered. Okay, because I ain't trying to talk shit and they ain't want to come. But I mean, I talk shit, but I want to offer for them to come so I can talk shit in their face. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting worked up again.